Frank Sinatra's live performances in Vegas during the 1950s were nothing short of legendary. But it wasn't until he started his own record label, Reprise, in 1961, that fans got a true taste of his brilliance on stage. Before that, his live shows at the Sands were captured on recordings but never released. Only in 2006 were these treasures unearthed and shared with the world, giving us a glimpse of Sinatra's raw power as a performer. In November 1961, Sinatra gathered a crew to record 5 nights of his shows at the Sands. Though the recordings were shelved for a while, they were later pieced together to create a box set in 2006. This set showcases Sinatra's incredible voice, his energy feeding off the live crowd, and his comfort in his familiar venue. He was like a train on up-tempo songs, full of fire in numbers like "The One I Love Belongs to Somebody Else." Yet he showed a softer side, delivering tender ballads like "Without a Song" with remarkable care and nuance. Sinatra's showmanship extended beyond his singing. His banter between songs was light but engaging, often tackling drinking, a topic close to his heart. He poked fun at himself and his audience, adding a layer of warmth to his performances. For example, he tweaked lyrics to fit his style, like turning Cole Porter's "Just One of Those Things" into a brooding number, or delivering a playful take on "River, Stay Away From My Door," a song with special lyrics for the Sands owner, Jack Tratter. On stage, Sinatra was a natural, effortlessly blending his charisma with his music. His patter was less raucous compared to his later Vegas acts, but still full of life. He was a regular face in Vegas, often seen at other shows or in late-night drinking sessions with friends and fellow performers. This was the era when the Rat Pack was taking shape, with Sinatra at its heart. The Rat Pack wasn't just a name. It was a group of hard-drinking, good-time Hollywood friends who first came together around Humphrey Bogart in the mid-1950s. The nickname itself came from Lauren Bacall, who playfully called them a Rat Pack after seeing them post-game in a Las Vegas showroom. Initially, the group included Sinatra, Judy Garland, David Niven, and others, bonding over a shared love of partying and entertainment. After Bogart's death in 1957, Sinatra became the central figure, leading a new circle of friends that included Dean Martin and Shirley MacLaine. Sinatra and Martin's friendship was especially strong. Both came from working-class Italian-American backgrounds and had similar beginnings as high school dropouts. Their paths crossed when they were both working at the Sands, and their friendship blossomed over shared laughs and drinks. Martin, known for his comedic act with Jerry Lewis, initially wasn't impressed by Sinatra's singing but was captivated by his personality. As Sinatra watched Martin's solo act at the Sands, he saw in him a carefree charm that he admired and aspired to. Dean Martin, born Dino Crosti, started his career in comedy with Jerry Lewis, creating a wild and engaging stage persona. Their act, a mix of straight man and chaotic interruptions, became a sensation. When Martin began his solo career at the Sands in 1957, Sinatra saw an opportunity to connect with someone who embodied a different kind of cool, one that contrasted with Sinatra's own intense nature. Martin's easygoing stage presence and his drunk persona became a Vegas staple, and Sinatra took note, seeing in Martin a side of himself he wanted to embrace. This era of Sinatra and Martin's friendship marked the beginning of what would become known as the Rat Pack, albeit a second version after Bogart's original group. Their camaraderie and shared love for life's pleasures laid the groundwork for a legendary group of entertainers who would entertain audiences for years to come. The Rat Pack wasn't just about music, it was about friendship, laughter, and the joy of living life to the fullest. Frank Sinatra was like a big brother to Sammy Davis Jr., but their relationship was complicated. Born in Harlem in 1925, Sammy was already dancing at a young age, even appearing in a short movie at just 7 years old. He joined his parents, who were in vaudeville, as part of the Will Maston Trio. This group of 3 performed in nightclubs for many years, even as Sammy became a big star in his own right. He sang hits like "Hey There" from the musical Pajama Game and acted in films including Porgy and Bess. Sammy was a hardworking performer who could dance, sing, tell jokes, do impressions, and even play the drums. Many saw him as the best all-around entertainer of his time. He got a big break from Sinatra when Sinatra asked for the Will Mastin Trio to open for him in 1947. This was a huge deal for Sammy. But Sammy knew that upsetting Sinatra could be very bad. Sinatra had helped launch the Will Mastin Trio's career and had stood by Sammy when he lost an eye in a car crash. Sinatra even let Sammy stay at his home and invited him to his mother's house for Christmas after the accident. Sinatra also used his influence to help Sammy when Las Vegas was still segregated, making sure Sammy could stay and perform at the Sands Hotel. However, Sammy once spoke poorly about Sinatra in a radio interview. He said Sinatra wasn't always nice to people and sometimes treated them badly. He even said Sinatra thought he was better than him as a star. This made Sinatra angry, and he stopped talking to Sammy for months. Sinatra was so upset that he even had Sammy removed from the cast of a movie Sinatra had gotten him a part in. Sammy spent 2 months begging Sinatra to forgive him, but Sinatra didn't speak to him for a long time. This kind of treatment wasn't unique to Sammy. Peter Lawford, a British actor, had a similar experience with Sinatra. In 1953, Lawford was seen drinking with Ava Gardner, Sinatra's ex-wife. Sinatra was so jealous that he stopped talking to Lawford for 5 years. It wasn't until Lawford married Patricia Kennedy, whose brother Jack was becoming a political force, that Sinatra saw the value in being friends again. By late 1958, Sammy, Lawford, Dean Martin, and Joey Bishop were considered part of Sinatra's inner circle. A magazine called them the Clan and explained their close bond and unique way of talking to each other. They were seen as the cool, nonconformist group in Hollywood, defying expectations and norms. Peter Lawford had a big idea for a movie about a group of former army buddies planning a big heist on New Year's Eve. He sold the idea to Sinatra, who loved it. They decided to make it into a real event, combining Sinatra's film shooting with a live show at the Sands Hotel. They called it The Summit and invited other Hollywood stars to join in. Joey Bishop was added to the team at the last minute, becoming the MC of the show. The event was a big deal, with ads claiming it was the show of the year, featuring Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and Peter Lawford. The excitement built as people wondered which star would shine on any given night. The Rat Pack's Las Vegas shows were a huge hit. They played to packed audiences night after night. Many famous people came to watch, like Lucille Ball and Ingemar Johansson, the heavyweight champion. The shows were a mix of singing, dancing, and lots of jokes. Frank Sinatra started the show. He sang some songs and the other members joined in one by one. Bob Hope said it was a great team effort. People loved the show so much that the hotel had to turn away lots of people who wanted to see it. The Rat Pack performed twice a night for 4 weeks straight. Their shows were sold out and people had to try really hard to get hotel rooms. The shows weren't just about the performances. The Rat Pack liked to have fun and be silly on stage. They drank a lot, told jokes, and played pranks on each other. Sometimes their jokes were a bit crude, like when they took off their pants or played with food during a birthday celebration. The jokes often targeted Sammy Davis Jr., who was black and had recently converted to Judaism. The guys would make fun of his race and religion in ways that sound very wrong today. They used silly accents and made jokes about dancing and food. While they thought they were being funny and rebellious, their jokes were not very smart. They were just 4 white guys and 1 black man making fun of stereotypes. Some people in Vegas didn't like the Rat Pack's act. They thought it was too childish and just recycled old jokes, but many others loved it. They saw it as exciting and different. Even some comedians who usually made fun of other comedians gave the Rat Pack some credit, though not everyone agreed. In the end, the Rat Pack's Las Vegas shows were a big deal. They showed that a group of friends could put on a fun and wild show that people loved. But the jokes about race and religion remind us of how far we've come in terms of what's acceptable in humor. Those shows are part of history now, but they also teach us about the past and how we should be careful with our words and jokes today.